Welcome to another episode of Meet the Author. Today I have Cassandra Bradford with me. Hi, Cassandra. How you doing today?
How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I'm glad that you were able to join me on Meet the Authors today. Can you
Yes.
tell our listening audience a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to talk about some of your books?
Okay, my name is Dr. Cassandra Bradford. I am the managing partner of Genesis Preferred Solutions. We've been in business for 20 years. We are a small business consulting firm. We specialize in getting companies certified minority owned, woman owned, and veteran owned, and helping them to find contracts that grow their business. That's what we specialize in.
Wow,
Yep.
that is so awesome. Well, Cassandra, now I've known you for quite a while, or I followed you. Let me put it like that. I know your cousin. Me and your cousin go way back. But I know you wrote a couple of books. Can you tell our listening audience about some of your books that you wrote?
The first book I wrote is called The Power of Cake. So yes, love cake. And I wrote another one called 21 Ways to Create Relational Currency. Drug pusher, about how to tell the difference between a consultant, a mentor, or coach. Shut up in color, and that talks about leadership and how women really can work together. So, but I think most people know me from 21 Ways to Create Relational Currency.
So, um, let's talk about 21 ways to create. What is it? 21 ways to create
To create relational currency.
currency? Okay. Let's talk about that a little bit. Can you tell our listening audience a little bit about that book, what that book is about? And also before, how can people get your books?
Okay. Well, you can always get any of my books by going to my website, which is you can go to iamdrcass.com or genesispreferred.com. That's the easiest way to go because all of them are listed there and linked there. 21 Ways to Create Relational Currency is about how we build relationships in business. You hear a lot people say, my network is my net worth. Then the follow up question needs to be, then what is the value of your net worth, your network? So in the book, I teach about how your business relationships should turn into cash, should turn into money. Because we know that in Texas, Texas is a relational state, right?
Yes.
California is a transactional state. So it's about the power of those relationships. Like my network is behind me. You remember those Verizon commercials, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I refer anybody to Adele, if I refer anybody to any of my resources, they know that there is a fee. That I'm not going to tell you to go and ask for a handout because this is our business. This
Right,
is how we
exactly.
this is how we make a living. So how powerful are my relationships? And how my relationships are based on spending time with you, getting to know you, right? So if I refer people to you, you have to know how I treat my customers and what I expect of you, just like in any relationship. So if I want people to know that I baby my clients, I do. I baby my clients. I don't do a lot of hand holding, but I make sure that my integrity speaks first. And so if I refer someone to you, I want you to treat my clients the same way that I treat my clients. And I'm held to a standard, which is from God. So I want to make sure that if I refer my clients over to you, that you're going to handle them with the same care that I handle them. So you don't owe me a referral fee. I want you to take care of my clients. And so when I travel so much, I want to be able to refer you and take you with me all over the world. So if I'm in New Zealand, or if I'm in Houston, or if I'm in Budapest, or wherever I'm going here lately to speak, I want to say, you know what? I know someone named Adele. The girl is bad. You need to talk to her. Tell her Dr. Cass said to call her, and she is going to talk to you because she knows that anyone that I refer to her is in a position, number one, to need your service. Number two, they're in a position to pay for your service. So now I've taken you all around the world with me because I believe that the people in my network are some awesome
Mm-hmm.
people. Right. So that's really the power of relational currency. And it talks about how you build relationships with others. And a lot of times we don't think of non traditional ways of doing business. Sometimes I get more business when I volunteer.
Wow. You know, that's awesome. I That book, I didn't even know you had that book. But I think, and I won't say I think, I know our listening audience, everybody who's listening to this need that book, if nothing else, because that, I mean, you said a mouthful in a little bit of time, and that was great, because I truly believe you're right. If I refer my client to you, and I'm just like you, I want to take care of that client. I don't baby the client, but I want to know that when that client leaves me, they feel good. And so I want to be able to say, hey, go to Cassandra because she can help you with get certification, what have you. And so I know just listening to you and knowing you, I know that you will take care of that client. Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about something else. I know we were talking about your books and this is Meet the Author, but I want to ask you about something else. Aren't you head of a chamber of commerce?
I used to be.
Okay, okay.
I did. I founded the North Texas Minority Chamber of Commerce. Is that wow? I learned so much. I'm no longer the chamber is no longer in existence, but I'm gonna tell you, I got to learn business so much, and I got to deal with politics so much, which I love it. I love it because when you're in business, you better know politics. You better
Right.
know who's in office, whether it's local government or federal government, who can either give you money, grant money, contracts, right, and
Mhm.
opportunity. Because sometimes, Adele, most small business owners don't know when you open up a business, whether you lease the building or whatever, that you can get subsidies from those city governments. And a lot of
Wow.
people don't know that they get tax abatements, they can get grant money. Certain cities, I know one city in particular in Texas, they'll give you $5,000 to remodel your the inside or do some build out as long as you
Wow.
stay in business for 3 years. And some people don't even know that. So, or they'll give you a tax abatement, or especially in the state of Texas, if you pay two quarters of payroll tax, they'll give you free employees for a year.
Mm.
Some people don't know that. So, but you got to know who's in office, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
so
And
that
I
chamber helped me to identify a lot of things that I didn't know before. So I love being a chamber president.
Well, I'll tell you, just hearing about you and, knowing the things that you're doing and you're accomplishing, I think is great. I think is wonderful. And I'm going to say one more thing because I'm excited. You're going to be one of the judges at the Reset Conference, and I'm just so excited about that. It's like, okay, but that's for another time because we're going to do another interview on that. But
Yes,
I am just so excited that you said yes, you would join us at the Reset Conference. This will be our third annual Reset Conference. But in the meantime, I wanted people to get to know Cassandra and what Cassandra Bradford does and about her books because more and most importantly, it is about your books. Because your book is, to me, books are like calling cards. They're what going to bring people to you, help people to get to know, oh, that's the person behind that book. That's the person that wrote that book. So I'm excited, Cassandra. I know you're doing
yes.
wonderful things. And that I think that's really great. So, what are some parting words you can tell our listening audience?
Well, I would tell you to indulge in the joys of reading. Our literacy amongst even adults is at an all-time low. I just created this literacy program that I just pushed to some local school districts here. Um, and when I did my research on literacy, on reading and writing, even amongst adults and adults that even in our prison systems that don't read or
Right.
don't know how to read. And our kids are lacking because we're not pushing them to read. And so we've come up with a program to get kids back to reading and writing because they took cursive
Mm,
writing out of schools. I don't know how kids are going to sign their names. When the satellite goes
exactly.
down, the internet goes down, we're in for a world of hurt. But if I can say anything to anybody, get back to reading. You learn so much. I love books. I mean, I know they have Kindle and all of that, but I love turning the pages, highlighting, writing in the book. So when people say, "Oh, Cassandra, let me borrow that book," I'm like, I didn't wrote all in the book.
Right?
I didn't highlight it. You need to go buy your own. But if you can't afford to buy your own, and I've gifted you the book, just know it's gonna have highlights and words in the margin because I love reading that way.
And you sound like me because I like to read that way too. I like to actually feel the book in my hand. I got
Yes,
one more question for you. I know I asked you with some parting words you can leave to our audience, but my last question to you is: did you self-publish or did you go to the traditional route?
I self-published.
Okay, and why did
I
you
self-published.
self-publish as opposed to going to the traditional route?
Well, for one reason, my books are a calling card. It gets me in the door. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in being a New York best time seller, and I know some people are, but I get to sell more books on my own because I speak so much. I'm on so many stages that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So
Mhm.
I want you to get to know me. I'm a cool person. I want you to get to like me, and I know my content, so you'll get to trust me. So I sell more books because I travel so much and I speak so much, I get to sell so many books. So when I look at my rate of return and
Mhm.
how many books I've sold a quarter in a year, I think I've done pretty good. So
That's awesome because I know we'll probably have some people who are listening to this podcast that are probably saying, well, I want to go the traditional route. And I always suggest to people self-publish because you can make more money. You get to keep all the money for yourself as
yes,
opposed to splitting it up with somebody when you go the traditional route. Well,
yes.
Cassandra, I want to say thank you for joining me today.
Yay!
This has been wonderful. And I'm
Yes,
looking forward to having you at the Reset Conference. But thank
I
you
can.
for saying yes, you'll be on this podcast today.
Yes, I
So
had fun. Thank you so much for having me.
you are so welcome. Thank you for saying yes. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
You too. Thank you.
Mhm.